Poverty, the root of hunger, the cost of our future. Good day, everyone. Today, I want to talk about two of the most persistent problems that continue to affect millions of people around the world: poverty and hunger. These two are deeply connected, and their relationship has shaped human lives and societies for decades. While we have made progress as a global community, the truth remains that many people still sleep with empty stomachs and wake up without hope for the next meal. Let us begin by understanding what poverty and hungry truly mean. Poverty is more than just the lack of money. It is the condition in which individuals or families do not have enough income or resources to meet their basic needs, such as food, shelter, clothing, healthcare, and education. Meanwhile, hunger is not simply the feeling of being hungry. It is a prolonged lack of food that prevents a person from living a healthy and active life. Hunger leads to malnutrition, stunted in growth in children, and even death in severe cases. When we connect these two, we realize that poverty is the root cause of hunger. A person who cannot earn enough income will not be able to buy enough nutritious food. As a result, hunger becomes a daily battle. To understand the scale of this issue, let us look at some statistics. According to the World Bank, around 648 million people around the world are still living in extreme poverty as of 2024. That means they survive on less than 2.15 US dollar a day. The World Health Organization, or WHO, also reported that in 2023, around 733 million people were undernourished globally. That is roughly 1 in every 11 people. In addition, the number of people experiencing moderate to severe food insecurity has reached 2.33 billion worldwide, showing how hunger and poverty remain global challenges despite years of development efforts. If you look back to the 1990s, there were signs of progress. Between 1990 and 2015, global poverty rates fell sharply thanks to international cooperation and economic growth. Hunger also decreased during that time. However, in the last decade, particularly in between 2020 and 2025, progress has slowed, and in some regions, hunger has even increased again. The COVID-19 pandemic, rising food prices, wars, climate change have pushed millions of people back into poverty and food insecurity. Let us focus more closely on our own country, which is the Philippines. Poverty and hunger remain serious problems here. Based on the Social Welfare Stations or SWS survey, about 20% of Filipino families experience involuntary hunger in April 2025, meaning they ran out of food and went hungry at least once in the past 3 months. Around 50% of the families consider themselves poor, and nearly 11.3 million families said they could not eat well as of mid 2025. These numbers are not just statistics, they present real people, real families, and real suffering. The condition between poverty and hunger in the Philippines is also linked to another other issues such as low wages, unemployment, inflation, and lack of access to land and education. When food prices increases but wages stay slow or low, poor families are forced to buy cheaper but less nutritious food or sometimes skip meals altogether. This leads to malnutrition, which particularly affects children. According to the UNICEF, millions of Filipino children suffer from stunted growth because they do not get enough nutrients in their first years of life. This kind of hunger affects not only the body but also the mind. It limits a child's ability to learn, to grow, and to have a better future. And so, the question is, why is it important to understand the connection between poverty and hunger? Because these problems are not isolated. They affect the entire society. When people go hungry, productivity decreases. When children are malnourished, education and human development are affected. When poverty spreads, social inequality deepens, and economic progress slows down. Now let us reflect on some deeper causes. Global hunger and poverty are worsened by climate change, which destroys crops and reduces harvests, by wars and conflicts, which displace millions of people, and by economic inequality, where wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few. In developing countries like ours, natural disasters such as typhoons also make poor communities even more vulnerable. Every storm that floods a rice field or destroys a fishing village means more families are losing their source of food and income. However, despite of these challenges, there is hope. Governments, organizations, and individuals are continuously working to reduce poverty and hunger. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 1 aims to end poverty in all its forms everywhere, while goal number 2 aims to end hunger and achieve food security by 2030. Many programs also help poor families through feeding initiatives, livelihood training, and education. In the Philippines, local communities and schools are conducting feeding programs and urban gardening projects that help provide food and income for families in need. But we must remember that this is not only the government's responsibility, it is also ours. As students, we can start small. We can raise awareness about hunger and poverty, support local charities and food drivers, and encourage others to waste less food. If we become future professionals, whether as teachers, engineers, or social workers, we can use our influence to promote equality, sustainability, and compassion. As someone who dreams of becoming a teacher, I believe that education plays a vital role in breaking the cycle. When people are educated, they are empowered. They can find better jobs, make informed decisions, and improve their quality of life. Teaching about poverty and hunger can inspire empathy and action among young people, helping them understand that change begins with awareness and compassion. To conclude, poverty and hunger are two sides of the same coin. Poverty limits access to food, while hunger traps people deeper in poverty. This cycle has continued for decades, from the 1990 up to today in 2025. But, but this does not have to be permanent. With collective effort, compassion, and action, we can build a future where no one sleeps hungry, where every family has food on the table, and where every child can grow healthy and helpful. Let us remember the power of words of Mother Teresa, who once said, "If you can feed 100 people, then just feed one." Thank you.